Ladies and babies, welcome back to SlappyMeats Plays Phantasy Star 4. When we last left off, we just wrapped up the rest of the Hunters Guild quests, missions, hunts, guess would be the one. And we decided to finally, at long last, move on to Soldier's Temple in search of the Aero-Prism. And I was mentioning something about strength of monsters. There's this notion about, like, how would I put it? How do I put this one forward? How exactly does one reckon the strength, toughness, just the overall power of monsters? Like, it's particularly in the wild. In terms of the universe of the narrative, like, these monsters here are far and away tougher than, like, I mean, they're kind of going down like bitches in comparison to our characters, but like that's kind of the thing. Like, these strong monsters are a bit weak to our characters now because of a difference in level. The monsters in Valhalla Fort, well, were robots, but still, the enemies were so much tougher in Valhalla Fort. You know, one could probably assume that the enemies in Valhalla Fort would take these enemies easily. Now, if these monsters in this cave here, in Soldier's Temple, are so close to Krupp, like, would Krupp have been terrorized by such monsters? Because Krupp was such an early game area. The monsters you were fighting around that time were the first monsters you encountered outside of Piata. So, like, the big combined fractal ooze here. Is it gonna be? Nope, not you. The big beige ooze here. Pretty clearly stronger than Iglanova, the first boss. Now, in the scope of the narrative, does the party think so? Like, we as the player have the benefit of seeing the character grow in strength and, you know, seeing the monsters grow accordingly. This is the fucking ooze, by the way. It's probably gonna fission before I get a chance to kill it, which is a pain. If I blizzarded it, it wouldn't. See, all this punishment it was taking. Clearly it had more hit points than Iglanova. More experience yield. All that. And the oozes that were in the tunnel cave right before Cattery. You know, a very similar sort of monster, but definitely stronger. And, like, the player has the benefit of seeing the character grow, and the enemies have to as well for gameplay's sake. Like, if all the monsters were to be about the same level of strength, there would be no credible threat. And that is the point of this kind of, this wondering, is credible threat. Is that the only reason that monsters and bosses get stronger in an RPG like this? Or are they supposedly being compared on an objective scale within the universe of the game? Like, if Zio were to fight a sandworm, for example, like, we're not supposed to... This seems a little auspicious. But the player is definitely discouraged from fighting sandworms when they have the capability of fighting sandworms for the first time. When they run into a sandworm, it's supposed to be like, oh fuck, there it is, run away. And the first time you fight, you encounter a sandworm that's not part of a hunt, it's going to absolutely demolish you. And the first time you encounter a sandworm, when it's not part of a hunt, is right after you first face Zio, and he fucking kills Alice. So, if Zio were to go one-on-one with his aura of Dark Force against a sandworm, he would lose. Because, most likely anyway. Actually, that might not be true, given the amount of hit points. I'm not. It would come down to how much damage he takes from the sandworm's attack and earthquake. Oh my! You guys are so strong. You must have felled many a monster by now. Huh? Well, not really. I'm embarrassed. Aw, flattering Chaz, Chazzy baby. But okay, well, if I were to assume that the sandworm would do 200 damage to Zio per round, our fully formed party at the time was doing something like probably 400 damage around. And all of them had to keep healing themselves. Zio would use single target attacks a lot, so the damage was sort of spread, and it took several turns, but yeah, we got him down. We would not have been able to take a sandworm. There's an even better example of sandworm, but I'll come back in a moment. Zio would be going like one-on-one with a sandworm. He would do about 170 damage, because that's what his one red and black beam attack, not the black wave that came from Dark Force's mouth, but the one that looked a lot like Na Foy. Let's see this. The one that looked like Na Foy seemed to be the one to do the most single target damage. A sandworm will do about, with that level of defense, probably about 200 and change. Maybe close to 300 with an earthquake. A critical hit with the tentacles, about the same. And critical hits happen a lot when there's a big level discrepancy. So, like, when it comes down to level, is that represented in-game as actual character strength? That is something I wonder. And speaking of that, particularly with sandworms, is the sandworm in Mile, that was the one that was raised by the rancher, and it was getting out of control. He couldn't handle it. Do the townsfolk view the wild sandworms as being stronger than that one? Like, in the scope of the game's, I guess, hierarchy? Like, is there one? Is there a hierarchy there? Like, would some experienced hunters say, I know that worm in Mile was nothing but a little pup, so don't go fucking around with any wild sandworms. I mean, there were hunters that said run from them, but they didn't put them to any level of comparison. So, for our level, when we first... fuck this guy. When we first took that job, that weaker version of the sandworm was to be a credible threat to our party, but something that we could conquer. And it was an extra battle that we didn't need to do because it was part of the hunt. Now, like, to the party members, if I were to have them take that job after getting back from Desolus, like, would your imagination kind of reckon that their reaction to the sandworm would be like, well, this thing's a fucking bitch. This thing's weaker than your average big old snow scorpion. Who gives a shit? This guy's a pansy. This townsfolk here. Oh, this is the one I'm supposed to go to, isn't it? And watch it not be either. Anyway, clearly if you were to pit one of the sandworms against the other, you know, the wild sandworm would, of course, completely eradicate it. So that kind of brings me back to Seth. Like, we got back from all these crazy adventures. We killed Zeo. We defeated Dark Force twice. So, well, 2 Dark Forces, because, as Ren mentioned, it was not the same creature. It was not the same life form according to his sensors. It bore no similarity to whatever was present on Quran when we got into Garberg Tower and reached the top. So those 2 Dark Forces were existing at the same time. Like, should the amorphous blob version of Dark Force be reckoned as a lesser being than the insectoid Dark Force with the exoskeleton? Like, in this universe, it's like... Did the profound darkness send the weaker version of Dark Force to the satellite and the stronger one to the planet around the same time or something? And just because, like, the satellite's easier to control and the planet was a harsher environment in its own, by its own right. Curious. Very curious indeed. But what I think is kind of at the heart of this kind of... it probably seems like aimless wondering is whether... was that splendid? It was kind of splendid, so, I mean, thanks for the approval, Seth. I would love to have that kind of strength. This is the result of many hours of training. You can become strong, too, if you put effort into it. Training. Interesting. When did you ever do any training, Chaz? Shh, shut your stupid mouth. Actually, that ties into what I'm kind of ambling on about. What do you mean, when did you do any training? You spent all these adventures, all this time going on crazy, evil-slaying adventures onto other planets and artificial satellites, taking down hordes upon hordes of robots and evil mutated creatures and zombies and etc. And of course, gaining a lot of experience along the way, getting all those experience points. So, like, were those nothing to them? Is level strictly a consideration for the player as a gameplay element? Or does a level 1, like, say, a level 1 Chaz, would a level 1 Chaz and a level 90 Han, would Chaz still, like, look at him like a punk ass? And be like, hey, yeah. Or I guess Chaz never really. Chaz was just kind of bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, as he is wont to be. Would Alice, like, Alice at level 7, if she met Han at level 90, would she, like, go to grift him, or would she be afraid of him? Would he be reputed to be the 8-stroke scholar, 8-pen-stroke warrior, homework completer? We finally made it to the temple. This is all thanks to you. There may be monsters still. Please let me come with you a little while longer. Oh, okay, sure. I mean, this time it'll cost you, though. See, maybe experience did really speak for something, and that's, in this case, age and professionalism. You really got to take a lesson from Alice here. You got to start charging your hangers-on. Oh, jeez. We get a lot of Trimates, don't we? I don't want so many Trimates. You eat the Trimate. You... You'll eat the Trimate. For 1 hit point, you'll eat the Trimate. It's be all decadent. You'll take that, you'll take that, you'll take that. Yeah, you can tag along, but, get naked. Oh yeah, that's good. You're learning fast, Mr. Scholar. Yeah, so, but... Yeah, we go on all these adventures, and this scholar's talking to us like we're super strong. We found him at level 30, I don't know, 5, was it? He was level 35. We were in our level 40s. Would Seth have been an extreme badass? Like, would Seth have gone to Birth Valley and just blazed through all those robots? I mean, maybe. But, like, he's still, you know, in his state of wonderment and bewilderment at us defeating these monsters with such ease, he's still comparable in strength. Like, he can blast through them with his corrosion skills and all that. But, like, does our party not notice that? Like, Chad, like, Rika didn't say anything like, well, you know... Or if Chaz were being more modest, he didn't step up and say, well, hey, just, I don't know, 2 planets ago. Like, we were about at the level you are right now when we started climbing that tower on Desolus, so, you know, you're not too far behind, you're doing pretty well. No, like, there's that difference. Like, the gap is what's narratively important. Oh, you ass. Or Trimate. It's discarded. We did it! It's the Aero-Prism! But how is it going to show us the way to Rycross? Gee, I don't know. You're sure a big help! Fuck you. What? Nothing. Ba-ding! Wow, it's blindingly bright! Sure is speaking obviously. Just like good old bright-eyed bullshit-tailed Chaz. Calling him out right out on this bullshit. But Chaz was the one getting snarky a moment ago. The roles, man, they're bouncing back and forth. Going from one being snarky to the other, saying something obvious to back and forth, and such. Hold the Aero-Prism up to the sky. What's going on? How beautiful. Rycross is at the end of the light. But that's beyond the skies. What? Excuse me? Like, are you serious right now, Chaz? We go into space on a regular basis. In fact, just a little while ago, we forgot to buy a couple items of clothing, so we went to another planet in our spaceship to go shopping. Beyond the skies? Are you... Dude. This might be a new high point for his stating the obvious. Just, oh my god, he's just... Wow! It's blindingly bright! I was just holding it in my hand, and it started shining real bright. In my hand. And it showed a gray light into the sky, and it was beyond the sky. And the Aero-Prism, I was holding it in my hand, and it was pointing upwards, raising it up from my hand, and holding it in my hand, and it was shining. Wow! Willikers! Holy shit, Chaz. I don't know how to deal with you right now. I will calculate the direction immediately. Aye! What's wrong? In my hand! Wrong person. Seth, what's wrong? Oh shit! Oh shit! Seth? It's not Seth. Oh, now you're doing it too? Now you're just with the obvious spouting. Are you sure? Wait, look again. Is it not? Okay, it's not Seth. Okay. That figure couldn't be Dark Force? Can't be. Yeah, it kind of is, though. Does this mean that Dark Force has been masquerading as a human? Rune, that's kind of what that means, yes. That's what that is. The whole party, like, is Ren the only one not doing this? Not stating all the obvious things? That evil-minded monster! Can Dark Force also evolve? Is that... Nah, that's more of an inference. I don't know. But, it's kind of wrong, too, isn't it? Because Dark Force didn't evolve from the first form to the next. Unless the tower was there itself, and Dark Force wasn't causing the snowstorms physically, like on his own accord. But like he was defeated at Kuran and then went down to Desolus and kind of hopped into the tower like, oh man, they really whipped my ass, better become a bug. We have no choice! Let's go! Oh shit. Another Dark Force. And what, like, speaking of comparing Dark Forces, the size difference is hard to make out. Oh, do I still have... Yeah. Rika's gonna have to pull double duty. Wait, Saner works on him? It's a technique. I thought Saner just doesn't. Ah, well. Oof. Oof. It's a pretty imposing Dark Force, too. Like, yeah, and speaking of differences in strength, like, the amorphous Dark Force, it's hard to tell whether or not that was supposed to be... Oh, yeah, possible. Oh, shit. Yeah, it's that time of day. We got some extraneous noise going on in the rest of the house. I'll try to... Hopefully that'll be kind of processed out, but we'll see. Anyway, fucking possible. This one cuts a pretty imposing figure because it's bipedal and it's easier for, you know, the human eye to relate to a bipedal figure and reckon its strength. It's got tremendous shoulders, it's in a cool superhero pose, and it's got a fucking sword hand. So this thing is communicating strength all over the place. Whereas the first two were crazy, like, eldritch beasts at best. Yeah, Divan. Yeah, at their most recognizable, they were just this... Well, they had a face and the vague kind of implication of... Oh, jeez. Vague implication of clavicles. Because those tubes going from him, they're kind of doing the same thing. The other ones had it as well. Other clavicles are like a break in a really broad pauldron of a suit of armor. Possible to ass again. Wow. Yeah. Oh, she was asleep. Maybe I should have tried. Well, hey, he's not actually whipping her asses too hard. Burst rock. Shift. This. Huh. Oh man, why didn't... Oh, because he interrupted. Ah, hell, agility's down. Maybe I should do something about that. Maybe I should put that agility back up, huh? I think this is stronger. Just keep on wrecking him. He's not attacking that directly. Ren's gonna need to recover. Maybe, Yes! There we go. Hey, I think that's the first time we got a combination attack without a macro. But, like I was saying, is there a clear distinction within the game's universe? Like, I keep coming back to that. Within the game's universe, would the first Dark Force be considered the inferior one? And, like, this Dark Force would be able to take him easily. like another way to think about it is the difficulty of the boss battle. And not just like it, like the oh shit, I forgot to recover with Ren. So I'm too busy shooting the shit here. No, you know what? Yeah, you do crosscut. Maybe we can get a good grand cross out of it. And hey, this'll get rid of some of the excess items. Yeah, fuck yeah. Yep, yeah, some extraneous noise in this one. Ugh. This is why I record in the dead of night usually. You just hang in there, Rune. We'll come back to you. Wait, I did Ray Blade, right? Not Crosscut? Yeah, Ray Blade. It's like the difficulty of boss battle. Would Lashik be a credible threat when compared to, like, this version of Dark Force? I mean, they were fought in pretty close proximity over the course of the game, so... Sure? Perhaps? But again, that's hard to say. Like, there's the increase in level and increase in gear. And I think what really crosses my mind when I dwell on shit like this is that simply a gameplay mechanic, or is that like the metric by which character strength is defined, and enemy strength as well? You know, comparing enemy strength to character strength, is that how you would measure like an absolute kind of no, man. Like an absolute benchmark. Well, he went down like kind of a bitch. So maybe the if we're talking about relative difficulty, maybe the 3 witches in the air castle were far more credible a threat than Dark Force. Maybe they should have been the one taking over the world. And this one, I was missing a party member. I mean, shit. Damn, look at that XPs. Got level increased. Everyone. Oh no. Oh man. This is becoming a sticky situation. Chaz, we've got to hurry to Rycross. Huh? I bet the followers of the darkness are already aware of the way to Rycross through Dark Force. They're probably on their way there, even as we speak. You mean they were spying on us? In my hand! Rycross, the only thing certain is the direction in which it is located. But no doubt there is something there that they can't afford to let us have. So we better get that something. We'll have to hurry, otherwise they'll beat us to it. I have the direction of Rycross stored in memory. But the light is now extending far beyond the No shit. In my hand. Fucking... We'll just have to head towards it. Yeah, in the Landale. The spaceship that you have and have had for... Shit. 2/3 of the story now? A third of the story? Shit, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to count the episodes. Chaz, you dunce. We're out of here. Alright, we got the Aero-Prism. We can do things. We can head to Rycross. Let's hop in. Rycross. How do we know where Rycross? I go save. I'm saving. Save. Oh, almost back up to where I was level-wise. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know exactly how clear what I was trying to communicate there was. Sort of an abstract notion, I guess. One that's hard to really explain away in terms of gameplay and all that. But I feel like you got the message across. I don't know, man. We'll find out. Well after, I'm sure. next time.